Hey, everybody, and welcome to another week of Dentistry Unmasked. I'm Pam Maragliano-Muniz, with me as always.
Hey friends, David Rice, great to see you, Pam. We've got a fun day today.
Oh my gosh, don't we ever? I think one of the most challenging things that we deal with nowadays is managing all the things. We talk about culture, we talk about, trying to, pursue your passions and have a personal life. But the truth is, work-life balance can be really, really difficult. And we have an expert with us, Dr. Valerie Woo. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We're so happy to have you here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career because you've taken some interesting twists and turns to get where you are right now.
I have, and I am also from the Boston area. I went to dental school there back in the early 2000s. We won't say how old I am right now. But I graduated from Harvard and Children's Hospital in Boston for my pediatric dental residency. And straight out of residency, I decided to start my own practice. It was, and I also had my first child while I was a resident. So I was juggling being a new mom and a new practice owner, not knowing how to run a business at all. So in my 20-year career, I've been working with many mentors and coaches along the way to try to create this path for me where I could balance both being a mom and a practice leader. And after selling my practice back in 2021, I still work for the practice, which I absolutely love. But I also have a passion to help other dentists to be that mentor and coach for them that I wish I had along the way. So I created this amazing framework to help dentists kind of be able to balance both their personal and professional life.
That's really cool. Okay, so you said like a million really great things that I think we need to like pull out a little bit at a time. Mom, dentist, practice owner. How did you balance those things? And is there balance or is it just like I do a lot of this, I take a breather a little bit?
Yeah, balance is probably not the best word that I think that that's what everybody wants to think that it is, that it's always equal. I think that when you are intentional with what you are really going to focus on in a season, I call it more of finding a rhythm that works for you and your family and your practice and being very intentional and clear with what your goals are in that season. And sometimes, I mean, of course, it takes a village. We've all heard that. And it takes having the right people with you to help support you and know that you're not in this alone.
Yeah, true story.
So how do you do it? I mean, I guess like, do you start from how much you want to practice and work your way back? Do you start with, what you want for your personal life and work your way forward? How do you create that recipe for people to figure out not only, what they want to do, but how are they going to get there?
Right. I mean, it's really sitting down with yourself and really having that vision with both your professional and your personal life. So I like to break down everything into quarters because I think that's easier to like you have a big vision first, like whether that's 5 or 10 years, and then you break it down into bite-sized pieces to make it seem more manageable and not feeling so overwhelmed with the whole big picture, but then knowing that you actually have a roadmap to get there when you break it down into pieces. So it's actually a little bit of both, Pam, right? It's some forward thinking as well as back, like working backwards as well. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, sure does. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be hard. I mean, I don't have children, but I'm guessing depending on the ages of your children, that your goals might change. And I think what you need to do, I almost feel like it's a work-life juggle versus a balance.
Ooh, that's a
You
good
know,
one.
Thanks. How I think that, your ability to juggle these things might change as they get older and as your career kind of, takes off. Or if your practice is taking off, maybe you can decentralize yourself from your practice a little bit and have it kind of run itself a little bit. So I guess
Yeah.
it's, kind of more individual where you need to figure out what that looks like for you.
That's right. I mean, that's why there's no like cookie cutter recipe for everyone, that's where it is customized and where you have to really dig deep into yourself. Because I have four children and currently they are ages 11 to 20. But in the very beginning of my career, I mean, they were all infants when I was, so they all grew up with the practice, because I'm celebrating 20 years of the practice as my daughter is turning 20 as well. And they need me in a different way than how they needed me when they were younger. So you're absolutely correct that depending on what season you're in with your, if you have children or in your marriage, whatever that it is, you have it changes, and you have to be okay that it's going to change, and you have to be able to be fluid with, because I think sometimes most dentists, we're very type A personality that we think that it should only be one way sometimes, but I think that it's okay to make it yours.
So I love this conversation. So in 2021, you decide, hey, I don't want to own anymore. I love this dentistry thing, but I don't need the ownership piece. What was it? What were the influencers for you? Was it the season of your kids and where they were growing up? Like what made you decide like that was the time to make a change for you?
Yeah, a combo of both. It was where we were personally with our family and how I wanted to be present with my family, as well as what was happening with dentistry post-COVID. And just, it was really the right time for
Yeah.
us financially as well to sell. So it was sort of like a combination of how everything was meant to happen. And I felt this next calling because I had so many other colleagues reaching out to me, asking me how I did what I did. And it's just been so lifting and it lights me up helping other people figure out and help them create the life that they actually want and know that they're not trapped in their own practice that they built. Because I think sometimes some people feel that they're trapped and they don't have a way out.
We've never heard that, have we, Pam?
Nope, never. No, but I
Not
want to
once.
actually dig a little deeper there. So tell us a story about that. So say, I feel like feeling trapped, feeling like you maybe you don't have the capacity to grow or you don't have the team to support you or whatever it is. I would just love to hear a story of somebody that you've worked with, how they felt like that, and then like how did they get out of it? Because I feel like you hear like point A and then you hear like point B, but you don't really get like this the story on how they get there. And I think that that would be really inspiring for people to hear.
Oh gosh, well, I have a great story of a current client now, a pediatric dentist. She started her practice in 2021. She has three young children, and she felt completely overwhelmed that she felt that she was wearing every single hat in the practice. She was ordering the supplies herself. She was onboarding all of her team. She was going to all the offices on the marketing. She didn't rely on one team member to do any of those things for her. And at the same time, she felt guilty that I mean, out of the three kids, there was a set of twins as well. And she just felt that she was not present and for her children or her husband. And while working together, I asked her just like honest questions of, you know, would she be able to empower her team? And, we talked about having the right people on the right seats and talked about each team member and what strengths that they could offer to the practice because she wasn't seeing patients 5 days a week. and her team was there for 5 days. So I was trying to help her utilize her team that she already had to be more efficient, to be like, I bet you have team members that love to go out to the community. I bet you have team members that have the ability that if you train them how to order efficiently and know that you're okay with budget. So she slowly was able to let go of those hats that she felt that she could be the only one to wear. And it improved the morale of her team tremendously because she let go of that and she entrusted them. And sometimes it's hard as a practice owner to think that a non-owner was going to take ownership and be proud of the place that they lived in, that they worked in. And when she saw that happen, I mean, it was such a game changer for her that then she could let go and empower her team to do those other responsibilities so that then she could really focus on the strategies of growing her practice, looking at KPIs more appropriately, and being that leader that she knew that she could be.
Yeah, there's a great read that's all about that, right? What is it like now get out of your own way or something like that? And that's
That's
in
right.
essence,
You are your own bottleneck.
yeah. Yep. We do it to ourselves.
We do it to ourselves, indeed.
Yeah, I think that sometimes when you are especially a new practice owner, you feel like you have to do everything. And if you don't, they're not going to do it right or, whatever. And
No
yeah,
one's
I
going to
think
do it as well as you.
exactly. So I feel like that's a really good lesson to learn. Absolutely. And so what about, so we talked about kind of the work life, situation here, but what about the practice itself? I mean, do you help them with marketing and, kind of coming up with systems and,
Yes.
what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So I created a framework called the LEADS framework, which is a nice little acronym that I know that I, as a dentist, love acronyms because that makes it easier for me to remember. That encompasses that you could use for both your personal and professional life to be able to find that rhythm that feels good where you don't feel overwhelmed. So LEADS stands for one is to lead with vision. So both with your personal and professional life. And E is about empowerment, empowering your team and empowering your family, uh, because everybody has their strengths to be able to contribute to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. The A is to attract the right ideal patient. So that's with systems for both internal and external marketing. The D is to develop your systemized systems, so both in the front and your back workflows. And so that's where all of those SOPs and making sure that the patient experience is exceptional. And then the S is, I think, sometimes what a lot of people forget is the sustainability. So that's that wellness portion that we as dentists forget about ourselves because we won't be able to we can't fill everybody else's cup if we don't fill our own. And so that's that sustainability section that taking time for yourself so that you can refuel and be re-energized and do what brings you joy.
We never heard that one either. We're so bad at all those things. We train to be strong clinicians. So, most dentists I don't think took real true leadership courses, right? Maybe we went to a seminar or two and we picked up a couple like nice phrases, but yeah, we're missing a lot of that. It's great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So to really live it is to really know that you're right. We chose this career because we are clinicians. We love to help people. And it's sad sometimes when we're not even looking at ourselves to we put ourselves last a lot of times. And this is this is for us to put ourselves first.
Yeah. So do you find you mentioned a lot of people reach out to you for help and stuff. Do you find that because of your experience and what you've been sharing that you tend to work with more female dentists, male dentists? Is it equally applicable? Like, does the next generation of male dentists actually look at themselves as a dad and a dentist better than we did?
I hope so, actually. At first I thought that my message would only resonate to women, but interestingly enough, I do have male clients, and I love that because again, and I think we're about the same generation now. The younger generations of new dentists are like, I think that men want to be really present dads as well. And it's not, I don't think it's the same anymore. And I love that. And so I think that the leads framework could definitely and does resonate to all, both men and female dentists.
Awesome.
It's terrific. And I think that we need to think about that. I feel like, especially for a new dentist, I think we get bogged down with debt and getting experience and figuring out how to produce enough to support the debt and try to, figure out what like life is going to look like, and how they're going to afford that. But I think looking further than that and finding what it is that's going to light you up and what's going to make you excited and what's going to help you and support you to have an enjoyable career. Because after all, I feel like we've kind of landed in dentistry at a great time where we can have a lot of fun with it. I feel like, in the beginning, when you're first getting your practice, you're just kind of trying to tread water and it maybe isn't as fun. But like once you're at it for a while, I feel like that's when the fun really starts to come.
I agree 100%. When you let go of some of those limiting beliefs that you have in yourself, and and I know what it's like to have all that debt too, and you're just drowning in it, thinking that all you can do is produce, and everyone is relying on you to produce to get the paycheck. That's what your main focus is in the beginning. But once you're kind of settling in and really being your authentic self and sharing those gifts to the rest of the world, I think that's where you can really find the true joy.
So, what advice would you give to, and I'm going to focus this on young female dentists because it feels like the frequency with which this happens is higher. What advice would you give to young female dentists who either are moms or want to be moms to, again, balance being like a air quotes word, like to really have that, to be a practice owner, to be a mom, have it all that they want to have.
That they don't have to do everything all at once. And if I could do it all over again, I would pause a little bit more to be present because I think with all of that debt, I was so into the future and was that mom at times where I was multitasking too much and not as present that I wish that I could have been for my kids. So when I'm with other younger clients, females who are dealing like with my client that I discussed earlier, I was like, take the time to be with your kids because in a hot second, it's a blink and I have a 20-year-old now, who I absolutely love and adore. And I wish I could have done some things more. I think that is a lot of mom guilt that many, many women always have. So I don't wish that on anybody else. So it's really to take the pause, and it's always like dentistry is always going to be there and the patients are always going to be there. But those moments that you have with your kids when they're younger, they're very fleeting. So I say take the pause.
I love that. And when you do that, like when you build frameworks out for them to do that, how do you help them keep their teams working when they take that pause?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the empowerment and finding the right people in the right seats and trusting the team when you have the right people. I mean, it's been a blessing that I have a wonderful team that I'm able to. So I clinically see patients 1 to 2 days a week now, and I'm able to know that the team that is running without me, which is amazing to know that I can go on vacation with my family and not have that phone on like I did all the time back in the day, just checking, making sure all the ER calls were done and being the first person. And so that has just given me so much more relief and less stress knowing that I've got a team there taking care of it.
That's terrific. I feel like this is sort of about living life without regrets, whether it's family or children or goals or, passions or travel, whatever it is that, we got into this obviously because we care about people, but we also, I don't think anybody became a dentist to not have a good life or to feel bogged down or to experience a lifetime of burnout. And so I think that taking a minute to really think about what it is that gets you excited or something that's going to keep you fueled as we go through our careers, I think is really incredible. So and I know we're kind of getting short on time here, and this has been amazing. I would love to hear about some of the things the initiatives you're working on and how people can find you and follow you, et cetera.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm launching an evergreen course called the Dental CEO Academy, where I talk about the LEADS framework in detail, and it will be available online on my website at drvaleriewoo.com starting this summer. So be on the lookout. And the reason why I made it evergreen was when I first launched the course, I did it live, and the feedback that I got, which was amazing. But one of the things that it was that they wouldn't be available at the time that I was hosting the course live, because we're all busy moms or dads or just busy people, that being able to sit down for the hour with me live was not always available. So I decided to do it evergreen so that they could do it at their own pace. And to kind of blend that experience to still be able to work with me, I'll be offering office hours during the course so that they can hop in, ask questions, and obviously still do it online where I could still answer if I'm not available live as well. But I'm super excited about this academy because I really want to help so many dentists out there with a framework that I think is easy to remember, and you do have to push yourself to be able to commit and implement these strategies. But when you do, I promise that it will like free up your life and give you your time back where you can pursue those other, I mean, I know that people love dentistry as we all do, but I'm sure that there are other passions out there that you want to also pursue that sometimes you may not think you have time, but if you implement these strategies, you could definitely do it.
I love that. That reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, like one day or day one. It's so easy to wake up in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years and wonder like where the heck it all went. It's a lot harder just to take a step. So friends, if you're listening, if you're watching, like take a step. It's once you start taking one, two, and three become really easy and we get to better places.
I
Pam?
love it.
No, this has been terrific. Valerie, thank you so much for joining us. And everybody out there, be good to yourselves and find what it is that gets you excited and spend some time doing it and focus on it. So for Dentistry Unmasked, we will see you all next week.
Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening to the show this week. And thanks to our guests and sponsors on this episode.
Please check out our social media at Dr. Pamela_Maragliano and at Dental Economics Official.
Or you can check me out at Ignite DDS or at Dr. David Rice.
And go to dentaleconomics.com to receive dental economics. You can choose to receive DE in print or digitally, and you can also get the details of our Principles of Practice Management conference on our website.
If you have topics or guests or anything you'd like to talk about on the show, send us an email to dentistryunmaskedpodcast@gmail.com, and we will do our very best to make it happen. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.